Globally and on average, 25% of students attend additional courses outside school. More than 75% of students in Colombia, Latvia, the Slovak Republic, the Philippines, and South Africa have private tuition in mathematics. In Japan and South Korea respectively, the figures are 71% and 64%, while in the IJK, 20% of students attend extra courses. When you write a report about a chart or a graph, don't focus on the detail straight away. Take a step back and make sure you see the context or bigger picture. Start by defining what the graphic shows. The next thing you should do is to write a sentence that describes the key trend. Did the numbers rise or fall? If they didn't rise or fall, you can say that there's no clear trend. It was a Swiss doctor who first suggested that giant plastic balls could be used for health purposes, and Swiss balls, as they became known, soon became very popular. Many people believe that sitting on a Swiss ball is an effective way of building your muscles. These days, you'll see them used for general fitness training when you go to a gym. Sports watches measure how far and how fast you walk or run. Most can also measure your heart rate and how many calories you burn. They're really beneficial as they encourage people to be as active as possible. As soon as you turn the watch on, it starts working and can tell you how far you've walked or run. Unfortunately, controlled studies still have a number of limitations. The first is ethics. It would be problematic to make one group of people smoke and to force someone addicted to smoking not to smoke, and in fact laws stop scientists from doing such studies. There's also the issue of paying enough people to take part in the study for a long enough time to make the study meaningful. Ever since the Industrial Revolution, people have turned away from nature in an effort to make progress. We have learned how to burn and destroy things in nature to create energy or to engineer new materials like concrete, asphalt, and glass, with which we've covered the natural landscape. But with this violence towards nature, have we perhaps overlooked the benefits of working with nature to solve our problems? Termites, the tiny creatures, have learned to create a comfortable home in some of the world's toughest climates. Outside, in the African savanna, the temperatures vary from 40 degrees in the day to 1 degree at night. Yet, inside the mound, the temperature stays constant. Meanwhile, at various points of the mound there are small vents through which water evaporates, cooling the structure. Food producers, consumers, and researchers use a variety of ways to make food taste better. Food producers can accurately measure the spiciness of raw ingredients and finished products in order to ensure that their products appeal to customers. Some consumers, especially fans of spicy food, use the ratings to find the hottest peppers they can, or to avoid overly spicy varieties. Critics of color psychology actually point to a number of problems. They believe that the research methods may be shoddy, and the relationship between color and human behavior is not biological. However, Companies continue to follow the precepts of color psychology, and say that they can see the benefits of color psychology in increased sales and customer loyalty, only when color psychology is used effectively. Soil is the top layer of the Earth's surface, mostly created from weathered rock. It is made up of varying amounts of minerals, humus, or decayed organic matter, and useful living creatures like worms. The finest rock particles within soil form sticky clay, the medium particles become silt, and the coarsest constitute sand. While there is sufficient moisture, soil supports vegetation, providing a habitat for a variety of animals. The concept of digital native is one that became relevant as technology proliferated, and more new devices like computers became available. As devices were introduced and became more complex, it seemed to many observers that those who were born after the advent of the personal computer and other devices had experience with them as children. Thus they seemed to integrate technology into their lives in natural ways. Climate data released recently revealed that the Arctic ice cap melted at an alarming rate during the summer of 2013, shattering the previous record for summer melting set in 2008. Many climatologists believed, "We thought that might be the record for quite a while." Satellite photos of the ice cap show that the ice cap is the smallest it has ever been since scientists began taking satellite photos of the ice cap in 1990s. An eclipse is an astronomical event in which light from one planetary body is blocked by other planets such as the Moon or Earth. The Sun, Earth, and Earth's moon are all involved in two kinds of eclipses. A solar eclipse occurs when light from the Sun is blocked by the moon. For a solar eclipse to occur, the Sun, Moon, and Earth must be in alignment, with the moon in the middle to block the Sun's light. Companies are examining new ways of organizing work teams to better meet the demands of the global economy. Effective organizations realize that structuring employees' work in traditional rigid departments and divisions does not meet their needs. Companies these days want to organize workers into cross-functional teams with expertise drawn from many departments of the company, not just one or two. Scientists have noticed that whales have small bumps on their fins. By putting similar bumps on the wings of airplanes, they've been able to increase efficiency by about 32%, which saves a lot of fuel. There are also bumps on the underside of lotus leaves that help keep them clean. Paint manufacturers have already invented a paint that uses this design to help keep walls clean every time it rains. Exercise bikes are a common sight in gyms everywhere and are used by a wide range of people. Parents can even buy exercise bikes that rock a baby to sleep while they use them. They have a variety of programs to make the exercise as easy or as demanding as you want, and they tell you how far you cycle as well as how many calories you burn. Water moves around Earth in all three states: as vapor, a gas in the atmosphere, as a liquid in rain, rivers, and lakes, and as a solid as snow and ice. The process by which water moves about and changes state is, called the hydrological cycle. The hydrological cycle has 4 stages: evaporation, condensation, precipitation, and runoff. In the evaporation stage, liquid water becomes a gas and enters the atmosphere. When people think about sports medicine, they often think about a team doctor treating an injured player on the field, but sports medicine also includes prevention of injuries. This function is often exercised by the athletic trainer, whose training equips him or her to design effective workout and practice routines that build physical strength and help prevent injuries. As long as there have been farmers, they have saved the seeds from the current year's crop so that it can be planted the next year. In fact, saving seeds is one of the oldest activities continuously performed by humans. Organized farming began during the Neolithic Revolution, the time about 12,000 years ago when humans began to organize permanent settlements, cultivate crops, and raise animals for food. A recent study sheds new light on a common human behavior of telling a lie. The study examined how well people can falsify the facts. Specifically, the study considered whether practicing of telling a lie made people better at convincing others that they are telling the truth. The design of the study used volunteers who agreed to tell lies to other volunteers who were listeners. Some of the liars were required to practice telling lies before telling them to other volunteers.